The 2026 World Cup final is over. Spain are champions. And Lionel Messi, 38 years old, in what is almost certainly his last World Cup match, is standing alone on the pitch, tears running down his face, holding a silver runners-up medal. For the previous 3 weeks, the football world had been consumed by one question. Was Argentina being protected? Was VAR being used to keep Messi in the tournament? Were the referees being manipulated to ensure the defending champions, the most commercially valuable team in the draw, reached the final? The hashtag VARgentina had been shared over 40 million times. Egypt's manager said his team had been cheated.
Not fair. The world not fair. بس الفير حتى مش في الحياة العادية. مفيش فير في الكرة. مفيش فير في الرياضة. مفيش. أنا مش مقتنع بالمباراة.
72 European lawmakers were already investigating FIFA. And Argentina, at the center of the most viral officiating conspiracy theory in football history, had just lost 1-0 to Spain after recording 0 shots on target in 90 minutes of the final. That is not a protected team. That is a team that needed something to survive and couldn't manufacture it when the game stopped providing it. The question is not whether VARgentina was right. Parts of it were. The question is, what was it actually right about? Researchers at Northeastern University's NetSI Sport Group analyzed VAR intervention rates across the group stage and round of 16. Their methodology: they counted only changed decisions, including offside overturns, and measured how often they went for or against each nation per 100 fouls. Argentina's rate of favorable VAR interventions, 6.7 per 100 fouls, second highest in the tournament, behind only Mexico at 7.8. Croatia suffered the most 6.5 decisions against them per 100 fouls, and across the entire group stage and round of 16, Argentina did not have a single VAR decision go against them. Not one. That is a statistical anomaly. VARgentina was not paranoia. It was a hashtag that captured a genuine data signal. The problem was what people concluded from that signal. Data alone does not go viral. Data combined with moments goes viral. And this tournament gave Argentina 3 moments that, in sequence, made the conspiracy feel undeniable. Moment 1. Argentina versus Egypt. Round of 16. Egypt led 2-0. The Pharaohs were minutes from knocking out the defending champions. Then a VAR review was called on an Egyptian goal. The goal was disallowed for a foul in the build-up. Argentina scored 3 times in the final 11 minutes to win 3-2. Egypt's manager Hossam Hassan did not attempt diplomatic restraint. He said publicly, perhaps they wanted Messi to stay in the running. In football, there are sometimes external factors that go beyond the technical aspects. The world champions received support at every level. The Egyptian Football Association filed an official complaint against the match officials. Moment 2. The quarter-final against Switzerland. Breel Embolo was sent off following a VAR intervention that multiple pundits described as unnecessary and which was publicly questioned as a case of mistaken identity the wrong player initially flagged. Moment 3. The semi-final against England. FIFA appointed Ismail Elfath as referee. He is described by media across 4 continents as Messi's favorite referee. In 5 matches officiated by Elfath in some capacity, including the 2022 World Cup final, Messi's teams have won every single one. And then you look at what VARgentina was not prepared to accept. Mexico benefited from more favorable VAR calls per 100 fouls than Argentina. Nobody was talking about VAR Mexico. Croatia had the worst VAR treatment of any team in the tournament. Nobody was organizing their elimination into a conspiracy. Iran suffered the second worst VAR rate, and they were already dealing with having to base themselves in Tijuana because of US travel restrictions.
You always complain about these things since the beginning. It's a disaster, World Cup. Disaster.
The Northeastern data showed a league table of VAR benefit and harm. Argentina was near the top of benefit, but it was not the only team near the top. Conspiracy requires selectivity. When you only look at the team with Messi and filter out the team with even more favorable numbers, you are not following the data. You are confirming a story you have already decided to tell. And Ismail Elfath? ESPN stated explicitly, there is no evidence that Elfath favors Messi or Argentina. His refereeing record at this tournament was considered clean. The one red card he showed before the Argentina match to Canobio of Uruguay was described by virtually every analyst as one of the clearest red cards of the tournament. The 5-match winning record with Messi is a statistical coincidence built across a small sample size that includes being 4th official at a final. The label, Messi's favorite referee, is a media invention that created a real-world perception with no evidentiary foundation. Here is the argument that nobody was making loudly enough during the tournament. VARgentina is not primarily a story about Argentina. It is a story about what happens when you introduce technology that produces legitimately debatable decisions into a tournament watched by 5 billion people. In an era when every frame of footage can be replayed in slow motion by anyone with a phone, VAR was introduced at the 2018 World Cup to eliminate the controversy of missed refereeing decisions. It has not eliminated controversy. It has transformed it. Before VAR, the debate was, did the referee miss something? After VAR, the debate is, did the technology interpret the rule correctly? The second debate is infinitely more difficult to resolve, because the rule itself, what constitutes a foul in the build-up to a goal, what constitutes dangerous play worthy of review, contains enormous ambiguity. And that ambiguity is now being applied in real time, under maximum pressure, with a global audience watching frame by frame and forming its own conclusions. Former Croatia coach Zlatko Dalic said after his team's elimination that VAR kills the emotions and the joy of football. VARgentina is what happens when you move subjectivity to the worst possible location. And then the final happened. And it settled a question that nobody had thought to ask directly. If Argentina had been receiving officiating protection throughout the tournament, what happened when they played a team that was simply better than them? 20 shots, 2 shots, 12 on target for Spain, 0 on target for Argentina, an expected goals tally of 1.94 for Spain and 0.2 for Argentina. Emi Martinez made 11 saves, a World Cup final record, in a performance that was heroic and ultimately irrelevant because Argentina created so little going forward. Spain had Yamal. They had Williams. They had Pedri and Rodri. Their attacking play was relentless, patient, and precise in the way that only a team with genuine tactical coherence can be. Enzo Fernandez was sent off in the 93rd minute. Argentina played extra time with 10 men and still created nothing. Torres scored in the 106th minute and Spain won their second World Cup. And in that final, in those 90 minutes where the refereeing was uncontroversial, where there were no VAR decisions of the kind that had fueled VARgentina, where the game was settled by football, Argentina produced the weakest performance any finalists had produced in recent World Cup history. VARgentina asked whether Argentina deserved to be in the final. The final answered, they got to the final. They did not deserve to win it. There is one more dimension to this story that deserves to be held separately from the conspiracy debate. Lionel Messi is 38 years old. He scored 8 goals at this World Cup, his best individual tournament return. He assisted the goals that beat England. He played with the intelligence and movement of a man who has spent 30 years reading football at a level nobody else has reached, and he is almost certainly never going to play at a World Cup again. He will be 43 by the time the 2030 tournament arrives. He said himself this was his last. He stood in tears at MetLife Stadium and received a silver medal for a tournament his team had won in. Was Messi's individual performance extraordinary? There is no VAR review for that. He was the best individual player of the 2026 World Cup until he wasn't enough to save his team in the final. 2 different truths, both real. Here is what VARgentina got right. It identified a real statistical anomaly. Argentina received favorable VAR treatment at a rate that was the second highest in the tournament, with 0 calls against them. That is documented and sourced. The technology that was supposed to eliminate officiating controversy produced the most consequential and widely shared officiating conspiracy in World Cup history. Both of those things are true. Here is what VARgentina got wrong. It assumed the anomaly had a cause rooted in intent, in deliberate protection, in institutional bias toward Argentina or toward Messi specifically. The final destroyed that conclusion. The most protected team in the tournament's group stage and knockouts produced 0 shots on target in 90 minutes of the final against a team playing uncontroversial, unremarkable football. That gap between VAR advantage and final performance tells you that what Argentina had was not a fixed tournament, it was a navigable one. They navigated it. Spain did not need to navigate anything. They simply played better. And that distinction is the whole argument. Football has built a technology that moves subjectivity rather than removing it. VAR shifted the debate from whether the referee made the right call to whether the VAR room interpreted the rule correctly, a question that can never be definitively answered. That social media is perfectly designed to amplify, and that the football world is structurally unprepared to resolve. VARgentina was not the story. It was the symptom of every unresolved question football carries into every major tournament. And Spain's winning goal, a substitute's finish from another substitute's cross, in the 106th minute, with Argentina down to 10 men and the world watching, was not a conspiracy. It was just football, the part everybody forgot to watch. VARgentina is over. Spain are world champions. And the questions about VAR, FIFA governance, and officiating consistency are going to be debated until the 2030 World Cup begins. Drop in the comments. Was VARgentina a legitimate question or a conspiracy theory? And if you want to understand the FIFA story behind all of this, the real institutional failure, we have that video ready for you next.